Hello there people of the internet, my name is Owen and welcome to this brand new video on Blurb. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I bought the 1998 1.4 8-valve automatic Corsa B. First of all, this Corsa is in polar blue and it's quite a subtle but nice colour to still roll around in for a little Corsa B. I paid 300 quid for this car back in July 2019. It was on its way to the scrapyard after being picked up by two scrap men. It was then taken to one of my mates who wanted to buy that Corsa just for its automatic gearbox and send the rest to car heaven. I rolled round my mate's house to see how he was doing with bits on his car, and because I was pretty much bored. And then I spotted two cars that were outside his house, one of which was on his drive, which was my little Corsa, and there was also a Cavalier on the back of a truck, which was a 1.8 in a pastel blue, which was completely corroded, and he knew I wanted a car to mess about with as a project car. So he asked me if I wanted to have a look at this Cavalier. I refused the Cavalier on the point that it had no keys with it, and the only clean part of it was the interior. The engine worked, the gearbox worked, everything worked on the car, but the fact the bodywork would need repairs and all sorts done into it. So I had a look at the Corsa B. Now I thought with the Corsa B, it'll be a car for me to learn with, to pull apart, put back together, just to have a bit of fun with, so that I could later do bits to a more impressive car. Since then, well, I've fallen in love with the thing. I originally bought it just to muck about in it and possibly try and kill it even, and then fix it purposely just to know more knowledge about cars. But I grew fond of this car, and all that was wrong with it realistically was the fact the key, it was a very basic key that it had, but it only had one key. The engine would struggle to start and it would overheat. There was loads of rewiring done inside the engine bay that wasn't done properly, and that was due to the thermostat, which is behind the cam belts and all the auxiliaries as well to, you know, make the engine work. The part was £11 just to put onto the car to make it, you know, work. It was a thermostat that went wrong with it, and the previous owner decided to rewire the fan to start when you spline it together. It was practically called a botch to keep the car going, as well as it had loads of numerous other issues, like the fact it was missing a CV boot and it was replaced with a carrier bag. The back box had literally nothing left of it, it was completely rotten. The interior was half stripped and was stained and smelt awful. And not only that, what made the car worse was in this time of year it was very hot in the daytime, so when you opened the door all you could smell was this very damp old sort of sweat smell, which as soon as you cleaned that up you could smell that old car scent, which to many of you guys who like your older cars, that is the kind of smell that just brings back memories, and it will be a memory for me for years to come. So since then I got the car mended, did a few bits to it, stuck some wheels on and sent it through an MOT after I changed the reg plates. The old reg plates that were on it were completely ruined, well, especially the rear one, so changed them over, did a few bits to it and sent it through to its MOT. When it went through on its MOT, I was pleasantly surprised of what it failed on. It wasn't much, all it was literally a brake hose or a ferrule pipe by the driver's side wheel, I believe, the front driver's side wheel, and it also needed an offside track rod end ball joint which needed to be replaced, which I have since had replaced. I drove the car for a little while, did a few more bits to it to make it my own, like changed the interior, I changed the brakes, I lowered it, put coilovers on it, put a new exhaust on it as well, and I did a few other miscellaneous bits with the engine in terms of the doors, replacing the bumper, replacing the headlights, and, you know, making it look more presentable. The car still looks stunning right now. It has quite a few bits that still needs doing to it, but when I sent it in for its second MOT this year, I was greeted with quite an expensive bill, which was down to it needed welding on the brake master cylinder, as the mount was completely corroded to the point it was about to fall off. It needed the wheel bearings checking. They were loose, so my MOTist tightened them for me. Everything seemed fine, and the car passed after we changed the tyre and did a few other minor bits to it, including the driver's side track rod end ball joint as well. It also still needs now another brake hose that needs doing, which would be on the passenger side front, which we can change at a later date. At the moment it doesn't seem like it's that bad that it's going to blow. But what kicked me really was when I drove it not long after its second MOT and the wheel bearings collapsed, costing me a grand total of 380 quid to tow it to somewhere to recover it, and to also get it back down to Wrexham as I crossed the border to Chester. That was an expensive blow, but since then it's had a new rear end put back onto it, and everything, touch wood, seems fine a couple of months later. There is still loads of work to do to this Corsa, currently on 73,000 miles. I bought the car on 63,000 miles, so I've only done 10,000 miles with it, which is still a great amount considering how long I've had it. It's been to Portmaddock on holiday with me and my partner, which we thoroughly enjoyed because it was nice weather. That car has to be the most solidest car I have ever owned. The amount of punishment I put through it, the amount of things I have fun doing with it, I'm surprised myself it is still on the road. But this is what I love about the little Corsa. It is very simple, less things to go wrong. There's no airbag modules, it is just the automatic gearbox, the engine and the driver. Now, admittedly, the automatic gearbox, I am still trying to kill that off in order so I can have an excuse to change it to a manual. But so far, this plucky little car just doesn't want to give up. And that is why I love this car so much. You guys are probably going to hate me for the things that I have done to this Corsa, and rightly so. But to me, that car deserves every single amount of love it gets. It's had a lot of things replaced, a lot of things that it needs will get changed, and it still needs a few bits still doing to it. Nothing major, of course, because a lot of things have been replaced already. But that car has to be the most reliablest car I have ever owned, and has to be still the best 300 quid I have ever spent. So guys, to summarise, for a car that was picked up by a scrapman to get scrapped, bought by someone who was going to strip it to scrap it, and then bought by me, had an accident with it and was prone to go into the scrapyard, this car is truly a scrappage scheme survivor. The reason why I bought it was just for fun. It was to mend it, to know a little bit more about how to work on cars so that when I buy a much better car in future, I might be able to fix that myself. Most projects, like what I've got with Fuming, have a story behind it. When people know the story of the car, they love it. They respect the car in the way that it has saved the individual rather than me saving the actual car itself. At the moment, Fuming is stuck in a unit whilst I'm fixing another car, the Astra H, for my partner, which it's still keeping me doing things, it's still making me happy, and I'm glad the little Corsa B Fuming is tucked away for now. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Like I say, if you like this video, why not leave it a like and subscribe. Again, like I say, tell me what projects you guys have and the stories behind them. The story is the most important bit of any project car, and Fuming definitely has a story to go with the whole saga of the car itself. It's part and parcel of the story. So anyways guys, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a lovely new year.